Well, a new Red Cross training program help neighbors in crisis. Here to discuss the Shelter Hero program is Donna McNair, Disaster Workforce Engagement Manager for the American Red Cross of North Florida. Good morning, Donna.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're also joined by Ann Giannini, the group's Community Disaster Program Manager. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning, Ann.
So, extreme weather takes a lot of forms, and so do the disasters that can result. This year, we've seen hundreds of people, killed by tornadoes, floods, events, wildfires, and even here today, we're having this extreme weather event. It could be 115, 113 degrees, feels like temperature outside. So we're all kind of living with the frequency of these events, and I would guess that spells greater need for community response. But can you kind of tell us what it is that you're seeing at the Red Cross and why it is that you're trying to get community involvement, to increase community involvement?
Yeah, so we're seeing less time between major disasters and more frequency of those disasters. So whether it's major hurricanes, wildfires, this extreme heat, our apartment fires, it's constant. We are in constant response to our communities. So that creates an even bigger need to have more community assistance locally rather than relying on bringing in people from the outside.
Yeah, and so the model that the Red Cross uses is kind of, partly to keep its cost down and to also assign the cost, the money that it has to people in need, is to help kind of spread that responsibility around. And this training program is sort of focused on that. Is that right?
Correct. So, our current campaign is called Shelter Heroes. The intention is to build more resilient communities and make sure that we're building response teams here in our local counties so that if something happens, whether it's something like a hurricane that we have notice of or no notice events where we need to open a shelter immediately, we have large pools of volunteers who are trained and qualified to help their neighbors.
And so, Marianne, what does that look like, practically speaking, when you're asking a community to sort of step up in advance and, be prepared to play a role?
Basically, we're asking people to support readiness and our preparedness, whether they're coming in for training virtually, in person, whether they're helping us spread the word about just hazardous preparedness in their communities, at churches, at different organizations, businesses, schools, camps. We are just trying to prepare our communities to respond and just build that resiliency.
Yeah. And so, what is the need? I mean, in the wake of something like it could just be an apartment fire, it could be flooding like we've seen here post storm. What are kind of the immediate needs, and how do you help volunteers train to respond to them?
The immediate needs generally that we come across when we're doing immediate response is that sheltering, just a safe place to be, a safe haven. Those facilities that support sheltering. We even have shelter agreements with different organizations, churches. We're always looking for no notice shelters because fires can happen at any time and take out, whole apartment buildings, displace multiple people at one time. So it's really great to have no notice shelters available. Having all those people trained to support those no notice shelters within the community is a really big need. And I do apologize. I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Oh,
Can you?
I mean, I think just in terms of like, not only what the need is, but how you train people to rise to that need,
Oh,
when it comes.
oh, definitely. So we offer a lot of targeted training depending on the position that people would like to pursue. We have virtual, we have in person. We could basically work around the clock. I know it says our doors are open from like 8:30 to 4:30, but we're generally
There,
always there.
right?
We definitely do respond 24/7. But it's great because it's at people's convenience most of the time to train and to actually respond. Their availability is based on whether they can or can't, and that's okay. We understand that people
Yeah.
have their own commitments, but it's beautiful when they're like, "Hey, I got 6 hours today. Let me be on call,"
Yeah.
you know?
And so to be clear, I mean, while shelter is a need, these are agreements that you typically arrange in advance with organizations or some place that has a larger facility. You're not typically asking people to take in people who are displaced, but
N
those people that you're training, you are giving them certain skill sets to know how to be helpful when a disaster strikes. And what is it that you are training them to do primarily?
Our Shelter Hero campaign actually offers a 1-day training that covers all of our required classes. That's going to develop their skills in client care, so kind of that customer service piece of how to care for the clients in those shelters. We always say everyone is welcome, so being able to have that good hello, good goodbye, that great kind of light in the time of a dark time for them that they could be experiencing. They could be scared or lost. But we teach our volunteers how to welcome them with open arms and then all of our procedures. So, how to handle reception, how to handle registration, how to set up and organize the dormitory, and different situations that may come up in the shelter and how they can manage those as a team. They always have a supervisor as well. So if a certain situation comes up, we have a team of people on shift. And through our classes in that day of training, we go through all of that, even some hands on how to set up a cot, how to properly handle feeding.
Wow. And so, yeah, food is a big part of it. Shelter is a big part of it. And as you say, people coming in with some traumatic experiences needing compassion. So this next training event is Friday, August 15th. And that is at the Red Cross office on Riverside Avenue.
Correct.
Um, it's at 9 a.m. And where can people sign up just briefly?
They can go to redcross.org/shelterheroesfl to register. They can also go to our Eventbrite link.
All right. Donna McNair, Mary Ann Gianni, thanks so much for being here.